Welcome. This is the fourth video in the series on ketamine state yoga. In this video, I'll teach practices for the very peak of the trip. I'm defining peak as the period where your consciousness has shifted the furthest from ordinary. Some fundamental aspects of consciousness may be offline, such as body ownership, the sense that you own your body. Language may be completely gone. Words that float through are meaningless or absurd. There can be profound hallucinations near the peak. It is a very personal experience, and at the heart is ineffable. Words cannot capture it. So the practices offered here apply to the peak of the ketamine trip. The place where your consciousness has shifted the furthest from its ordinary state, however you would describe it. These practices are designed for two goals. One, to increase the possibility of a peak mystical experience. This type of experience, of increasing interest to scientists in this revival of psychedelic healing, has the capacity to transform a person in beneficial and lasting ways. Many have achieved such transformative experiences through intentional psychedelic use, through various yogas. Sometimes they happen spontaneously. The practices of ketamine state yoga aim to prepare your body-mind for such a peak mystical experience. The second goal of these practices for the peak is to reset the body-mind as completely as possible in preparation for the healing practices to be conducted during the come-down and integration phases. So here are practices to increase the likelihood of a peak mystical experience and to allow your body-mind to be reset or reborn so you can learn healthier ways of thinking and being. So you've arrived at the peak of the ketamine trip. During the come-up phase, you prepared your body-mind with deep breathing and scanning, bringing awareness to the three chakras. How do you know the peak has arrived so that you can transition to these practices? Because manifestations at the peak will be so varied and personal, perhaps the best advice is something vague like when things start to get really weird. So begin these practices when you notice just how far your consciousness has shifted. At this moment, you may only have moments before you no longer have access to conscious willpower. Check in with your heart center. Take a deep breath from the belly. And as you exhale, really let go in this area. Connect with the same heart center feelings that were associated with your intention. There is no need to remember the intention or to think about it in any conscious way. Just allow a sense of openness at your heart center as you breathe. And as you allow your awareness to settle at your heart center, begin the half smile practice. This is an ancient Buddhist practice and is perfectly suited to the ketamine peak. Bring a gentle smile to your face. Notice the feelings at the edges of the mouth and the cheeks. Notice particularly how the muscles around the eyes and the muscles of the throat automatically relax with the smile. As you hold the gentle smile, feel that sense of openness at your throat. If you practice the half smile and really bring awareness to the feelings and the sense of openness, then it will be a strong ally at the peak of the ketamine trip. Here's another practice for the peak. These are examples of hand mudras. They may have esoteric associations, but for now, just become aware of how much consciousness resides in your hands. One Zen teacher called the mudra the barometer of the meditative state. If you were too uptight and tense, the knuckles would get white and the hands would strain. If you were too lax and sleepy, the mudra would collapse. Close your eyes and take a moment to become aware of your hands. Left pinky, left ring finger, left middle finger, left index finger, left thumb, whole left hand. Right pinky, right ring finger, right middle finger, right index finger, right thumb, whole right hand. You can move your awareness so subtly around your hands. Use this power to really endow the mudra with awareness. You can choose any shape. What's important is the awareness you build into it. First, really bring awareness to your hands in the mudra position. Feel the places where the fingers are in contact. Feel how the whole mudra feels. Try to find a balance where your hands are securely and confidently in position, but there's no stress or strain. Try a single word. It could be resonant with your intention. Say the word several times as you feel the awareness in your hands, like you're programming this intention, programming this word into the mudra. Here's an example. Courage. 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 Then become silent, but feel how that aspect of the word, the emotional energy you brought to the word, the sentiment, the idea, feel how they are now embedded deeply in the mudra. Self-acceptance. 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 Just like the half smile practice, you can perform this mudra practice anytime. And the more you practice them, the more they will be available to you at the very peak of the ketamine trip. And as you ascend to the very peak, here is the Central Pranayama, the breath practice that's key to both the mystical experience and the body-mind reset. It's similar to a technique you've already learned, the 5 deep breaths practice, but there are some key differences. This pranayama has 5 deep breaths, inhalations deep from the belly, exhalations just letting go, spilling out. But the inhalations are through the mouth this time, through pursed lips to make an audible sound. And this time, the 5 deep breaths are broken into 2 sections. The first 3 breaths are quicker, and the following 2 breaths are slower and deeper, like this. And for the final exhalation, sigh it out long and slow. And just like you practiced before, let it descend all the way to the bottom. Practice this descent to the bottom with as much attention as you possibly can. Feeling, listening, experiencing, and then rest for a long moment on empty. If you do it right, allow yourself to empty of air completely, with no muscular force, just with attention, letting go, letting go, letting go, and then resting at the bottom. Then when the inhalation rushes back in on its own, your breath may be rapid for a few moments, as if you just exercised. I'll demonstrate the entire practice. 5 deep breaths, followed by a long final exhalation, and then resting for a moment on empty at the bottom. I'll close my eyes, adopt the half smile, and bring my hands into the self-acceptance mudra that I have programmed in my waking state practice. After you rest, you can repeat this practice, even at the dissociative peak. This pranayama may happen spontaneously, as if by itself, conferring all its benefits. How can this occur? Your intention to practice is key, and you built this intention through practice into your body-mind. The pranayama itself is designed to be stored in various types of memory that do not require conscious access. The 3 breaths and then 2 have a rhythmic feel. You can hear it almost like a song. When you practice it, your body learns it, your ear learns it. You don't need to count, and you don't even need to think. You rest at the bottom of the exhalation, no muscular force, just with attention until the inhalation rushes back in. And when the inhalation rushes back in, there may be a profound sense of rebirth, a shattering of walls. There may be revelations and insights. This is the moment when a peak mystical experience may occur. This is also the moment of the reset of the body-mind. The two goals of ketamine state yoga for the peak are fundamentally the same. When you practice to reset your consciousness, you emerge as a child, open to wonder. You exist free of the ego that hammers out your magic and restricts your possibilities. You are free to be as you are. In the next video, I'll teach practices for the come down phase of the ketamine trip, where possibilities abound for healing, transformation, and learning. Thank you.